Hello, welcome to our discussion on how to take an equation that is at first written with base e and transition it so that we can tell what the corresponding percent of increase or decrease is for that situation. Now recall that if we have a function where we've written it as a coefficient times a base to our variable power, where our coefficient's positive, if our base is greater than 1, then that base minus 1, written in percent form, is the percent increase. If our base is between 0 and 1, then we take 1 minus the base, write that in percent form, and that's the percent decrease. So when we're looking at our form of our equation that we're starting with, a of t is equal to 1/5 e to the 0.047 t power. I want to write this in the form a of t is equal to a times b to the t power, and then I can follow the information off to the right that we reviewed. Well, we're going to use properties of exponents to do that. Remember that from properties of exponents, that when we had an exponential expression to yet another base, so let's say we have y to the z power to the q, then we would keep the base and multiply the exponents. Well, that's what we did when we simplified most of our exponential expressions before, but this is also true the other way. So if I have, because it's an equality, if I have y to the z to the q power, then that means that I can write this as y to one of the exponent factors, and then that quantity to the power of the other factor. So for our equation that we started with, our a of t, we can write that as 1/5 times, well, this is e to the power of 0.047 times t, so that can be written as e to the 0.047 and then that to the t power. Now, what's the value of e to the 0.047? Well, e to the 0.047 is approximately 1.048122009, and you can just use your calculator to get that value. Now notice this value is greater than 1. So it is the situation where our base is greater than 1. So then, since we have with our base is greater than 1, we'll have that means that it is exponentially increasing, and our percent of increase then, and let's just make sure we write this, is greater than 1. Our percent of increase we find by taking that number and subtracting 1. So that gives me 0.048122009. And I want to first write this in the percent form before I round it to the required rounding. So I have, changing it to percent form is 4.81222009%. So we move the decimal point 2 places to the right and put the percent symbol on. And then now I want to round that to the nearest hundredth of a percent. So we round it after we put the percent. So hundredth of a percent, we have our 4.81, and the number after the 1 is a 2, which is less than a 5, so we'll just drop off those digits and have our percent increase is 4.81% and its increase. And that's how you are able to take your given equation that is a base e, transition it with properties of exponents, and then determine the percent of either increase or decrease depending on your situation.